The date is the 2nd of June 2012 at Accra International Airport, also formerly known as Kotoka International Airport in Ghana. Flight 111 is approaching runway 21 at 8 at night. The plane touches down 4,000 feet from the threshold of runway 3. The plane overruns the runway and enters a busy road before coming to rest in an empty area past the airport grounds. 12 people have been killed. How did an accident like this happen? Today I will go in depth into who, what, when, where, why, and how this happened. Today we'll be talking about Allied Air Flight 111. Before we get into the accident, let's take a look at a few details of the plane, crew, and circumstances. The aircraft is a 727-221 freighter advanced, operated by Allied Air, a freighter airline based in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. Specifically in Murtala Muhammed International Airport. Initially, when the airline was first suggested to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, set a deadline of the 30th of April 2007 for all airlines operating in the country to recapitalize or be grounded. Allied Air successfully recapitalized and was registered for operation, which began the airline's life of flights. Nowadays, Allied Air now operates mostly 737-400 super freighters, but they have a 737-800 super freighter. They still have these aircraft in operation during the writing of this script. But when the airline first entered the skies, they only operated 727s and 707s. They had 4 leased 727 freighters at the beginning of their fleet, followed by the 707 Freighter-338C, which was later sold to Das Air Cargo. One of the 727-200 freighters being 5 November Bravo Juliet November, which is the aircraft we will be covering. Many of their planes used to be operated by other airlines from around the world, until Allied Air would buy them and convert them into cargo planes. Specifically, 5 November Bravo Juliet November was operated by Pan Am with registration November 368 Papa Alpha from 1982 to 1992, with one final flight from Bridgetown, Barbados to Miami, Florida, USA. Then it was sold to Express One International in 1992 with the same registration. Then the plane was sold to All Canada Express in 1996 and 2001 with the registration Charlie Foxtrot Alpha Charlie November, where finally, in between 2001 and 2003, the plane was leased to Allied Air with the registration 5 November Bravo Juliet November. Over the plane's lifetime, the plane had totaled 40,251 hours over the course of 25,380 flights from 1982 to 2012. The crew of Flight 111 are unknown, but the 4 crew were in their late 30s to 40s according to Ghanaian media. Now that we've gotten all the internal information you should know, let's now talk about the accident of Flight 111. The time is 6 p.m. at Murtala Muhammed Airport in Nigeria. Flight 111 is going to fly to Kotoka International Airport in Ghana as a stopover to get to Abidjan, Ivory Coast. The flight should be around 2 hours long. The flight will mostly take place over the Gulf of Guinea. The flight is carrying 4 crew. I could not find their nationalities or identities, so it's up to speculation on who they are. Flight 111 taxis to runway 18 left and takes off by 1904. The weather is reportedly inclement with turbulence present. ATC instructs the plane to turn right and fly over the Gulf of Guinea to reach Kotoka, where the plane would climb to an undisclosed altitude. A quick note about this crash is that most of the information wasn't documented. The crew, cargo, black boxes are still unknown to this day, at least to the public. Here is some quick information about the airport Flight 111 is approaching as a stopover. Kotoka International Airport is located in southern Ghana with the ICAO registration DGAA and an AITA registration of ACC. The airport has one runway, runway 3 and 21, that is 11,165 feet long. 3,404 meters. The airport was made back in World War II for the Royal Air Force to fight the Axis powers in Africa. But after World War II, the airport was given to the civilian authorities, where in 1956, a project launched by Kwame Nkrumah to reconfigure the airport into civilian use. The project was finished in 1958. In 1969, the airport was renamed to Kotoka International Airport. Ever since its reconfiguration to that point, it had been referred to as Accra International Airport to honor Lieutenant General Emmanuel Kazui Kotoka, a member of the National Liberation Council. Kotoka was killed in an abortive coup attempt at a location that is now the forecourt of the airport. The weather over Accra is much worse than in Lagos. The weather is reported to be stormy and with a visibility of 0. The time is 8 at night, and Flight 111 is approaching runway 21. Flight 111 was not the only flight landing at Kotoka that night. 2 flights were ahead of them, which were Turkish Airlines Flight 629, Airbus A330-200, followed by Lufthansa Flight 566, and Airbus A340-300. Both flights reported the weather to tower. Thankfully, both flights landed safely. During approach, ATC cleared Flight 111 for flight level 050 and later cleared to 2,000 feet. After, approach told Flight 111 to climb to 3,000 feet due to high terrain in the area. The pilot approached runway 21 via an ILS approach. As the plane approached closer, Flight 111 came into heavy IMC conditions in the rain. The pilot decided to disconnect the autopilot even though they were in a very unstable approach, at speeds of 167 knots, and with almost no visibility. The plane touches down onto the wet runway at over 150 knots, at 5,807 feet from the threshold of runway 21, and 4,000 feet from the threshold of runway 3. The crew deployed reverse thrust and normal brakes, but due to the wet runway, the brakes were ineffective at slowing the plane. By this point, the crew knew that if they didn't stop, they would overrun, and it was far too late to commence a go-around. As the plane used up more of the runway, the crew thought the brakes and reversers would lower the nose of the plane. It never did, which made it so the plane couldn't deploy speed brakes, which meant the wings were still commencing lift, which made the hope of stopping even smaller. The plane shook as it overran, where finally the nose gear would touch the ground after hitting the perimeter fence. The crew reported seeing red lights after the nose hit the ground. The plane destroyed the threshold lights and approach lights on runway 03. It knocked out the ILS localizer transmitter structure and mounts, broke through the airport perimeter wall. Some of the debris of the localizer transmitter structure, carried along by the right wing, hit a passing cab, which caused injuries to its occupants, and the leading edge of the right wing was extremely damaged. Sadly, one of the occupants of the cab died from their injuries. After the plane entered the busy Gifford Road, where the 727 would strike a passing Mercedes-Benz TN-207 minivan, which instantly killed the 10 occupants. The plane also hit a cyclist who was also killed on impact. The plane uprooted a tree by the side of the road before coming to a rest in an open space near the El Waqf Sports Stadium. The plane finally stopped outside the airport perimeter wall, 171 feet, 350 meters from the threshold of runway 03. None of the 4 occupants were killed in the crash, but did sustain injury. This next part may have descriptions that could make viewers feel uncomfortable. Viewer discretion is advised. The captain suffered from a contusion in his left leg with swelling of the interior with multiple excoriations on the same leg. An inflamed left index finger. His body pressure was 170 to 130 and was visibly traumatized by the whole accident. The pilot monitoring did not complain of any pain, but medical examination reports revealed that he suffered a contusion in his lower left limb with excoriations and swelling. His body pressure was 180 to 120. He was also visibly traumatized by the accident. The ground engineer had a mild contusion on his lower left leg and had a sorrowful look on his face. The flight engineer had some pain in his left lower limb, but was relatively well composed even after the crash. To this day, Flight 111 remains the deadliest civil aviation crash in all of Ghana. The only other crash that was deadlier than it was a C-54 crash back in World War II. I would like to thank you all so much for watching. I know this video has been in the works for weeks now, and it's been through many different versions, but I do hope that you have enjoyed my video. Big thanks to Peter Nino and Andrew Animator for either getting information for the video or making an entire animation especially for RTR. Seriously, you two are incredible. I hope that this is a good video, or else it would have kind of been a waste for the 2-month wait on this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I have had a quite a while trying to get these. It's been taking hours just to record this. Also, you might have noted the pretty big significant change with the way RTR episodes are constructed. Instead of having bits of commentary when it's mostly gameplay, this has been kind of mostly commentary, but it has gone much more in depth. As much information as I could find, I'm giving to you in this video. I wish the families of the victims well. May all 12 of them rest in peace.